The Rock will be making an Impact Wrestling appearance. Isn't 2020 wild? Just when you think things that would never happen this year, obviously, I mean, this is probably, in the grand scheme of things, really minimal. But The Rock making an Impact Wrestling appearance, just craziness. But it's for a worthy reason and a great reason. And that is to be part of the Ken Shamrock Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Now, Ken Shamrock will be inducted into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame next month over Bound for Glory weekend. Bound for Glory is about a month away now, and The Rock says he will be providing a video introduction for the world's most dangerous man. Now, Ken Shamrock and The Rock exchanged messages on Twitter last week relating to this upcoming Hall of Fame induction for Shamrock. Shamrock posted a Twitter that said, "At The Rock, hey brother, I am being inducted into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame. I would be very grateful if you could send an induction greeting. After all, I believe my time with you was my greatest memories in wrestling. Thank you." The Rock was quick to respond to this. He said, quote, "Congrats, my brother. Awesome news. I will take care of this and get it to you by this weekend." He also posted a follow-up message saying that he was going to send Ken Shamrock a DM to facilitate this and get this message sent to him. So The Rock technically is going to be appearing on Impact Wrestling, I guess, television programming, however they do this during the induction ceremony. I'm sure, given that it's The Rock, I mean, it's The Rock, it's Dwayne Johnson, the biggest movie star in the planet, arguably the biggest celebrity in the planet, just a ginormous name, and ginormous man, for that matter, but if you can get The Rock appearing on anything in professional wrestling that isn't WWE, you are going to flaunt it to the world's end. And it will mark the first time that The Rock has ever appeared on Impact Wrestling programming. So, what a year. What a year for Impact Wrestling, really. You know, go back to July and Slammiversary and the success of the Slammiversary pay-per-view, where they set all kinds of records and they had their best month on social media, had their best month on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, had their best month on YouTube during Slammiversary. Had their best month on the Impact Plus on-demand streaming service. They've got new signings. Eric Young's back. He's the world champion. EC3's returned to the company. They signed the Good Brothers, Luke Gallows and Kyle Anderson. The Motor City Machine Guns are back. The Knockouts division is thriving. And then to top it off, you've got The Rock. Yes, the great one himself, the people's champion, the most electrifying man in all of sports entertainment, or in this case, professional wrestling, because they call it professional wrestling in Impact, remember, is going to be appearing on Impact programming, no matter how brief it is, no matter how much of a cameo it is, and no matter what circumstance it is. In this case, it's the induction package for Ken Shamrock at the Hall of Fame ceremony. It's a massive deal. A massive deal for Impact Wrestling and for Ken Shamrock, without a shadow of a doubt. Now, during WWE's Attitude Era, Ken Shamrock and The Rock, they were kind of tied at the hip for a period of time there. They crossed paths very frequently. And one of the more iconic moments during the Ken Shamrock and Dwayne Johnson feud in WWE in the late 90s, everyone remembers it. If you haven't seen it, go YouTube it right now. It will make you wince to this day. And that is when The Rock hit Ken Shamrock straight in the face. And I say straight in the face, legit, straight in the face with a steel chair. The sound is disgusting. Ken Shamrock he did an interview with Chris Van Vliet, I believe it was last year, and basically said, nope, didn't get a concussion. As far as chair shots go, I've had far worse. It wasn't that bad. It kind of just smashed my forehead, and it actually wasn't that bad at all. But go back and watch it. It sounds like a gun went off. It is unbelievable. It's such a iconic moment. You'd never do that today. Never, ever. Knowing what we know today, that kind of deal just isn't happening. But it's an iconic moment. It's an absolutely iconic moment. Now, Ken Shamrock and The Rock have met in singles competition at least 5 times on WWE programming. Now, of course, this does not include house shows, tag matches, or multi-person matches. And actually, in those 5 matches, The Rock holds a 3-2 lead in their all-time head-to-head stats. It's not likely they're ever going to wrestle again. I think if The Rock has any more matches, it will be for WWE, of course, at WrestleMania. There's been rumors, hasn't there, of The Rock possibly facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Even The Rock himself has stirred that up, but we ain't getting that 6th match between Ken Shamrock and The Rock. So I think it's going to stick to that 3-2 lead with The Rock there. Now, actually, the last match they had on WWE television between Ken Shamrock and The Rock was actually in the second round of the Deadly Game tournament. You remember that? At Survivor Series 1998, where The Rock would defeat Ken Shamrock en route to winning his first ever WWE Championship and aligning himself with the evil villainous corporation, including Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon at the end of the night. Now, Ken Shamrock will be inducted into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame, as I mentioned, next month, and having The Rock, it's just, I don't even know if you can put a monetary value on how important that is to Impact Wrestling. I really don't. Not only is he one of the biggest and most iconic names in professional wrestling history, a lot of people would have The Rock on their Mount Rushmore professional wrestling ever, but he's also the biggest name in entertainment as well. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. Now, Ken Shamrock returned to Impact Wrestling last year. Of course, he's the first ever world champion in the promotion's history. He won the NWA World Heavyweights Championship in 2002 on the debut pay-per-view at the time of NWA TNA, and he will be inducted into the Impact Hall of Fame next month during Bound for Glory weekend. And as I mentioned, this is a huge, huge deal for Impact Wrestling. And I think also what I do want to point out here is what a classy move it is by The Rock. Regardless of your opinion on The Rock, and surprisingly some people, I'm obviously a huge fan of The Rock, who isn't, but there are some people that feel like his contributions to the business are overrated and all this kind of BS. That is exactly what it is. It's BS. Rock is, just look at the money he's drawn, look at the money he's drawn today, and look how much he did in such a short period of time in the WWE. When did he make his debut? 95, 96? And he'd left the company pretty much by 2003. So he was in there, 6 years? I mean, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. 6, 7 years, and to achieve what he has achieved, post WWE, during his WWE career, it's The Rock. The Rock is the biggest guy on the planet. He really, really is. So, super classy move by The Rock because he doesn't have to do this. The Rock doesn't have to help Ken Shamrock be inducted into the Impact Hall of Fame. Now, if it was for the WWE Hall of Fame, maybe you could say that, but the Impact Hall of Fame, not to do it a disservice at all, but it's not the WWE Hall of Fame, it's not even the WWE company. And for The Rock to take time out of his obviously ridiculously busy schedule to take the time to do this video, induct Ken Shamrock, it's a massive deal. It's a massive deal. So credit to The Rock. Super, super classy move by a very, very classy individual. Support for Wrestle News 365 is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Now, Manscaped, for all of my UK fans out there, Manscaped just launched in the UK. Over here in the United Kingdom, we have gone for years and years and years without using the right tools for the job. But now you can be one of the first men in England to experience their life-changing product. But it's not just limited to all of the great fans over here in the UK. This offer goes worldwide, so all of my friends over in America and around the world that are listening to this offer still does apply for you. You can still use our code. But I've got to tell you a quick story first. Now, there have been so many times, right? I'm a guy. You gotta groom down there, fellas, right? That's the most important thing. You gotta keep yourself trimmed. You gotta keep yourself proper. And a lot of the time, I've been guilty of this, of using the wrong tools for the job. I've had incidences, I'm not afraid to say it, where things have been nicked, snagged, or in fact cut down there because I wasn't being careful enough and using the right equipment. Now that just shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. You don't want to be worrying about cutting yourself down there. Do you know how painful that is? I can tell you, it hurts quite a lot. And I wish and hope to God it never happens to me again, and it won't happen to me ever again because I'm using Manscaped products. That's why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. The Manscaped engineering team has perfected the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created. Big statement, but it's absolutely true. They have just released the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0 in the UK. It's also available around the world as well. Their third generation trimmer features a cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents. So those cuts and snags that I was telling you about before are a thing of the past. And let me tell you, when I tell you this is premium, I mean premium. The battery will last up to 90 minutes so you can get a longer, perfect shave. And not only that, you don't want to be cutting yourself and trimming yourself all over the bathroom, getting hair all over the place. That's just disgusting. The lawnmower has a waterproof technology that allows you to groom in the shower, so no more mess. And one of the coolest features, one of my favorite features about the lawnmower, is the LED light which illuminates grooming areas for a closer and more precise trimming experience. So you can shave longer, you can shave more precisely, and you can shave in the shower. What more did I need to tell you? They've also upgraded to a 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology, and let's not forget about the charging stand. You can show off your mower loud and proud because this intelligently designed stand is a convenient charging dock powered by USB. So, if you are listening to me speak right now, I want you to experience it firsthand for yourself. Let's get that bush to tush clean, and you can get 20% off and free shipping. Yeah, you heard me right there. 20% off and free shipping. All you have to do is use the code 365wrestle at manscaped.com. Make your testies their besties. That's 20% off and free shipping. Not only are you getting 20% off, you're getting free shipping as well with the code 365wrestle at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code 365wrestle. Your balls will thank you. And as I mentioned earlier on in the video, Ken Shamrock and The Rock, they were right there during The Rock's ascension to WWE. I mentioned before about how much The Rock achieved in such a short period of time in WWE, and Ken Shamrock was a massive part of that. He really was. I think probably their most iconic match is the WrestleMania 14 match, right, for the Intercontinental Championship. During that period of time, The Rock was the Intercontinental Champion. He was transitioning into the leader of the Nation of Domination, really starting to get people's attention. This is when The Rock he started off, of course, as the babyface in WWE. Didn't work out. Fans turned on him very quickly. He had an injury. He came back, quickly aligned himself with the Nation, and then just bang, skyrocket, just to the moon so quickly. His talent, his mic skills, all of it undeniable. But Ken Shamrock was a very, very important period of time in The Rock's career, because on that ride to the top, Ken Shamrock was right there with him. And Ken Shamrock at the time was a babyface, The Rock was a heel, and Ken Shamrock was over. Ken Shamrock was very, very popular, the world's most dangerous man, the psycho crazy gimmick, and The Rock was a perfect foil to that, and in the same way that Ken Shamrock was a perfect foil to The Rock. And Ken Shamrock, as I said, was huge to the rise of The Rock in WWE. Now, when The Rock first turned heel and aligned himself with the Nation of Domination, his first feud actually was with Steve Austin at the time. Stone Cold Steve Austin was the Intercontinental Champion. This was coming off of Steve Austin's neck injury in 97. And that whole feud there kind of shows where that was going to go in the future. But after The Rock had feuded with Steve Austin, his next feud, and probably his biggest feud, was with Ken Shamrock, and together they were absolute money. And you look at Ken Shamrock's big moments in his WWE career, The Rock is right there. The Rock is absolutely right there. Like I mentioned, the WrestleMania 14 match, who's that against? It's against The Rock. Ken Shamrock is a former King of the Ring winner. He won the King of the Ring in 1998. Who did he defeat in the final to become the King of the Ring in 1998? He only beat The Rock. The Rock was there, Ken Shamrock was there. Their careers at that period of time, they were tied together. And actually, if you go back to that WrestleMania 14 match, Ken Shamrock actually beat The Rock at WrestleMania 14, but the decision was reversed, so The Rock retained the Intercontinental Championship. So those big moments, all of those big moments in WWE with Ken Shamrock, most of the time have The Rock involved. When Ken Shamrock turned heel, he joined the corporation. Who was the crown jewel, the prized asset of the corporation? It was The Rock. It was all about getting The Rock to be the WWE champion, elevating The Rock to that main event level, that superstar level. Ken Shamrock was the part of the same faction. So, again, you just look, it's very strange. You look at Ken Shamrock's WWE career, The Rock was always there. In those moments that Ken Shamrock had those huge moments in WWE, it was always about The Rock. The Rock was always there. That's why, as Ken Shamrock mentioned, his time with The Rock was his greatest memories in wrestling, because they were the biggest moments in Ken Shamrock's career. So there is nobody more fitting to induct Ken Shamrock into any wrestling Hall of Fame than The Rock. And I hope one day, I really do hope one day, that we get Ken Shamrock in the WWE Hall of Fame, because he deserves it. He absolutely deserves it. He deserves to be in there. His contributions to WWE, regardless of how short they were and how short he was there for. I mean, he signed a contract in It's 97. When was he gone? 2000, I believe. It was a 3-year deal or something like that. So he wasn't there for a long period of time, but people still talk about Ken Shamrock today. People still remember Ken Shamrock today. And if they can still talk about you and the impact that you had on the company, and you were only there for 3 years, that shows what a big deal you were at a period of time. And exactly that's my thoughts on Ken Shamrock, is he should be in the Impact Hall of Fame, absolutely, but he should definitely be in the WWE Hall of Fame too. So this news about The Rock inducting Ken Shamrock into the Impact Hall of Fame just adds even more stature to Bound for Glory. Bound for Glory, it's traditionally Impact's biggest show of the year. They hype it up as their biggest show of the year. It's Impact Wrestling's WrestleMania. It's Impact Wrestling's Starrcade. It's the biggest show of the year, and it just got bigger. It absolutely just got bigger. And I know the induction ceremony isn't happening at Bound for Glory. It happens on Bound for Glory weekend, the same way that the WWE Hall of Fame happens on WrestleMania weekend. It's the same kind of deal. Now, The Rock isn't going to be at the induction ceremony. He's not going to be at Bound for Glory or anything like that. But regardless, just having The Rock, that tape from The Rock, which you know for a fact is going to air on Impact Wrestling, it's going to air on Bound for Glory, legitimately, people will tune into Bound for Glory just to see The Rock's video package. That's the big star that The Rock is. Some people that may not have wanted to purchase Bound for Glory go, you know what, I'll purchase it just to see The Rock, his video package about Ken Shamrock. People will do that. Or you just think about the credibility. If you're a fan of The Rock, you don't know about Impact Wrestling, and you go, what's The Rock doing with Ken Shamrock? I remember Ken Shamrock, I remember The Rock. What's his Impact Wrestling? They tune into that. It's a massive, massive shot in the arm for Impact Wrestling. It's a massive, massive deal. Having The Rock on your programming in any way, is an absolutely huge deal, especially for a company the size of Impact Wrestling. It's massive, massive news for Impact, and such a massive, massive deal. And you look at it, that's why you bring in people like Ken Shamrock. That's why you bring them back. People, when Ken Shamrock returned, critics would have said, he's too old, he can't do it, he's in his 50s, blah, blah, blah. Ken Shamrock is a name. Ken Shamrock's contributions to the business are right up there with the best. People want to see Ken Shamrock work, and a lot of credibility comes with him, and then you can parlay it into other things, like The Rock. Just having The Rock appear on Impact Wrestling programming, even in a video package for an induction ceremony, is worth having Ken Shamrock back in the company at all. It's that big a deal. It really is. There's money to be made there by having Ken Shamrock back, and this is just evidence of it. This is, to all of those critics and those naysayers that say, why do you bring these old people back? Why do you do this? The evidence is there, because this is money. This is absolute money. There's money to be made. Now, as far as Ken Shamrock, as I mentioned, in the Hall of Fame, the Impact Hall of Fame, he's beyond deserving of that honor for me. How can you not have the first world champion in the promotion's history in your Hall of Fame? You have to. You absolutely have to. I actually did a video, it's a couple of months back now, where I ranked all of the Hall of Famers, and I ranked Ken Shamrock in there. And as I mentioned, he's absolutely deserving of being in the company's Hall of Fame. Impact Wrestling is, 18 years old now? 2002? And Ken Shamrock absolutely is a big part of that. Maybe he wasn't the NWA World Champion for a long time, and he was part of that first show, though. He was the guy at the time they found, okay, who is a name that if we put the World Championship on, people are going to know who he is and want to see him wrestle? That was Ken Shamrock. So absolutely, he deserves to be in the Impact Hall of Fame, and I can't wait to see it. And it just shows what a massive deal it is to have The Rock involved in this process for Impact Wrestling, because I can't wait to see the video that The Rock says about Ken Shamrock. I can't wait to see the induction ceremony, and as I mentioned, Impact would be fools if they didn't play this video package a million times, whether it's on social media, whether it's on Impact Wrestling on Access TV, and whether it's at Bound for Glory itself. You know that they will, because there's money to be made there. So I can't wait to see that. And as I mentioned, credit to The Rock, because he didn't have to do that. He really didn't have to do that. It's the Impact Hall of Fame. It's not the WWE Hall of Fame, but he is still loyal to those people that helped him ascend in his career, and one of those guys is Ken Shamrock. So super classy move by The Rock, and once again, congratulations to Ken Shamrock for his upcoming induction into the Impact Hall of Fame. I for sure will be watching. But of course, as always, this is just one man's opinion. What are your thoughts on The Rock inducting Ken Shamrock into the Impact Hall of Fame over Bound for Glory weekend next month? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I'll be sure to respond and reply to all of your comments. Really enjoy interacting with you guys on this channel. If you haven't already, please do smash a like on the like button as well. It really just helps out here on YouTube. Go up the rankings and get into people's recommendation feeds if they haven't seen our videos previously. But most importantly, if you haven't already, please please do subscribe to Wrestle News 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right-hand corner of the screen right now, or if you wait a few seconds, there'll be a subscribe button at the end of this video, along with another video for you to watch. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today, and I'll speak for you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.